Hi guys, 1 month passed and we are back in beautiful Soma Bay for another clinics. We were lucky again because for 8 days we had 6 days of wonderful wind, some really strong, some medium and some light wind, so very lucky. But in this video I would like to share with you my favorite setup of my favorite board and sail and how to trim it. So it's gonna be interesting. But also I got a lot of questions from you regarding the cameras that I use. So we're gonna talk also about cameras. Okay, stay tuned. So my favorite setup and my favorite gear selection, gear choice of all times is the iSonic 67 2024 and NeilPryde Evo 15 2024 also, the size 7.4. This gear together works magic. The only thing that I change in this setup is the fins, but about this a little bit later. And why do I like this gear combination the best? Because 7.4 is big enough to be used in 12 knots, in 13 knots, and it's, for me with almost 100 kilos, it's feasible to plane. It's usable in marginal conditions for planing, but also I can hold it up to 25 knots easily. So this sail works for almost all conditions. And then the board, it's 110 liters. I can use it from 12 knots with a longer fin, but also in 30 knots. This setup this week I used the strongest in 30 knots gusts with a shorter fin, and it was mind-blowing. It was super nice. So I think this is the magic combination for most of the conditions, because the sail is extremely efficient and still very light, so it feels in hands very nice, but it planes super early. And the board the same. The board is super efficient. It sits high. It's very slippery, but also it performs extremely well in very windy conditions and also on the chop, because one day we had very strong chop here and it was easy. The only thing that I changed to make it work really good is the fins. This is my 43, but I use the longest fin on this setup. I use 60 for super light wind conditions. If you know, I'm almost 100, but if I weigh 80 kilograms, I would use a 50 fin as my light wind choice. And then going down to 40 for medium winds, and then the optimal fin for this gear combination is the 34. And then the shortest fin that I used this week in very strong wind was 29. So actually we could use 30, 40, 50 and 60, and that's it. So we would cover all conditions, and short fin effectively makes the sail feel smaller, and long fin makes the sail feels much bigger. So it's like subtracting and adding the sail area, and this is nice because this way we carry very little equipment and we can windsurf in all conditions. But this video is not about that. This video is about trimming of the gear, because you know, we had a nice clinics past week here in Soma Bay, and you know, for my clinics the guys that are taking part are really pros. They're really advanced, they're really good, and even though they're good, they keep on forgetting what makes the gear tick, you know, what changes in the gear, what effects have on the behavior of the gear in light and strong winds. So this is what we're gonna concentrate on. You know, we spoke about the fin, so bigger fin, more power, smaller fin, less power. This is obvious, but there is a lot of adjustment options on the gear. And for example, you know, we have to start with boom height. When you're going on the water for the first time on the new sail, always choose the middle position in the middle of the cutout for the boom, and then go out. And the first step, of course, if you have too much power and the sail is actually killing you, then the first step is to put the boom a little bit lower, and increments of the adjustments are usually 2 centimeters. It makes a lot of difference. So you go lower until the moment that you feel comfortable. And again, if the wind is too light, then by increments of 2 centimeters, put your boom higher and higher until the moment where you feel enough power and you glide. There is a limit to it, because if you put the boom too high, then there is too much pressure through the boom and through the mast on the nose of the board, and the board tends to stick to the water, and this is not desirable, because then you increase the wetted area and the board slows down. So lifting the boom, it works only to a degree. When you exceed the limit, then the board starts to stick, and you will feel immediately that the boards become slow and draggy. So it means you went too far. Of course, adjustment on the boom, the depth of the sail is super important, and the best is when you use outhaul system like I use here, but not everyone does that because it's overwhelming sometimes, for beginners especially. So in general, when you rig the sail, it's important to rig it so you have some profile, so that there is a depth to a sail, because this way you create a pressure difference on the foil, on the skin of the sail, and the sail is pulling you. It's not really good when the sail is completely flat. It never works, and also this kind of sail, a flat sail, tends to be very unstable. So if you're a beginner and you think that you make a sail flat and this will be safer for you, it's not the case, because when you don't have a profile, the sail feels very unstable and it's actually harder. Downhaul tension, down here. Downhaul tension is super important, and usually it's very good to over downhaul the sail, not under downhaul, which means that it's better when the sail is pulled harder than lighter. Because when the sail is under downhaul, so it means that it's pulled downhaul not enough, it feels very draggy and heavy in hands, and you will never reach top speed of the sail. So you will be tired and you will be going very slow and draggy. This might work only in super marginal conditions, when you have problems with getting on plane, and this way you will get more power in the sail. But once you're on plane, sail feels very heavy. But when you over downhaul the sail, it's actually not so bad, because the sail feels lighter and lighter to the point where you start to remove power from it. So when you over downhaul the sail, the feeling will be that the sail is very light and comfortable, but it's just lacking power, which is not bad when it's very strong. But the feeling and the drive of the sail will be very comfortable and very slippery. For example, with NeilPryde, we have very nice and handy marker points here on the top of the sail. You have minimum and maximum, and what I experienced is that the NeilPryde tends to be the most efficient when it's at the maximum or 5 centimeters further. This makes it super light, super easy to maneuver, very nice on the jibes, and the fastest. But if you set it on the maximum, it will be still nice, but in the strong gust you will feel like the sail is extremely powerful. So if you don't want to have that, then 5 cm further, it's optimal. It's very nice. Regarding button tension, with the modern sails, the buttons are along the stream of the wind flow, which is very good, very efficient, and this means that the more button tension, the better. So whenever you have cross wrinkles on the buttons, always cancel them with button tension, so the sail is smooth and it's completely flat. And when here we have some wrinkles, I didn't adjust the buttons for 1 week, and I already got some wrinkles, so I have to adjust it stronger. Few turns should do the job, should do the trick, and the most efficient is when you don't have wrinkles. And also when you have more button tension, the sail is planing earlier and is delivering more power, and is also more stable. So it's very it's a good thing to over tension the button instead of under tension, because if you have a sail with under tension buttons, it's very wobbly and feels like rubber. Position of the harness lines. Whenever you ride a properly rigged sail, your harness lines have to be exactly in between your hands. This way you can comfortably stand on both legs straight, or almost straight, and not being twisted in your back, and you don't get tired. If you're riding and your harness lines are towards your backhand or front hand, this means that the trim is wrong and you will be feeling uncomfortable. One more important thing about the harness lines is the length of the harness lines. These are adjustable, and I must say these are my favorite, and I've tested all the harness lines on the market, and these are the best so far. These are called Unifiber stainless steel adjustable, amazing lines, and I use them already 2 years with they're not showing any wear and tear, so it's really nice and it's easy to adjust. And these are, I think, 24 to 36, the longest ones, amazing. But the length of the harness lines should be short enough that you can comfortably sit in the lines and relax. Of course, I recommend to everyone a seat harness because it's just more comfortable. You can put more pressure on your gear just by sitting. I tried the waist harness and it's always going up, and it's not giving you this comfort. I cannot imagine competing, for example, in Deafy Wind on the waist harness, where I can use a seat harness and just sit in it. And my favorite harness since this season is the Gravity seat from NeilPryde. I'm wearing a large size, so if you are smaller than me, I'm 192. If you're smaller, then go for medium. It's super comfortable, super straight from the box. You put it on and it works. It's super comfortable. It's amazing harness, and also it's very durable because I use it already 8 months and it's perfect. It's very nice. Harness lines, when you have more closer to each other, then the sail is more sensitive and you can feel the gusts. If you have your harness lines wider, then it's more numb. The feeling of the boom is more numb, and you're not able to read the wind so precisely. Mast foot position. In general, if you go further forward with the mast foot, for very beginners, it's better to get on plane because the board sits more flat, so it tends to be planing earlier. And also the board is not turning upwind when you're very beginner. Sometimes the board turns upwind and it's annoying. So when you move your mast foot forward, it's not doing so much. But then when you're going already fast, when you're planing, when you have your mast foot too forward, then you lack power and the lower leech is grabbing the board and it's very uncomfortable. So always when you go on the water, put your mast foot in the middle, if you're not tuned, of course. And then if you have too much power, move it 2 centimeters forward. This will reduce power of your gear. If you have too little power, too less power, then move your mast foot 2 centimeters back. This will increase the power of the whole system. The foot straps position is a very difficult task. Normally we start with middle position and then we go on the water, we windsurf, and if the board behaves very quiet and it's very sticky, then it's a good idea to move the foot straps both front and backwards. And also the stance. On modern boards, the stance of the feet is optimal for most of the people. So you should, if you have front foot strap position in maximum back hole, then also back foot strap should be in maximum back hole. This gives you an optimal stance. If you're not too tall, then of course you have to make them narrower, closer to each other. So coming back to the foot straps adjustment, when the board feels very nervous and it's flying and it's uncontrollable, then move your foot straps 1 hole forward. Then the board will become more quiet and more controllable. The foot strap size. It's super important, and this is neglected by most of the guys. It's super important that the front foot strap is tight. The reason for it is that when you have loose foot in the front foot strap, first it tends to slip out and you can catapult, and second, when you go fast, the board will be wobbling, will be very unstable, which is dangerous and you lose speed. So front foot straps should be tight, and then when you ride, even twist your foot one way or the other to make it lock even harder. This way you lock the board in stable position and you can go faster, and also you can control the direction of the board more precisely. The back foot strap is not that crucial. It should be slightly more loose, but not completely loose, because again, the board will be more wobbly when the foot strap is more loose. Oh, Kamal!
Siemano!
Siemano, my friend.
Wszystko dobrze?
Dobrze. Good to see you, man.
You too, my friend.
Yes. So guys, coming back, NeilPryde, by far my favorite sail. For past many years I tried most of the brands, and I just must say NeilPryde is the most efficient. The feeling in hands is super light, super steady, and what is crucial, when there is a low in the wind, it keeps on pulling you, it keeps on giving you power, but when it's strong gust, when it's strong, it's very controllable. The wind range of the sail is amazing. So I'm in love. I keep on saying that. That's it, guys. It's for now in the market, I don't see a better gear, better sail. And this goes also for the board, especially this one. iSonic 67 is such a machine. It sits high, it's light, it's quick, it's slippery, it jibes like a dream. I tell you, I know that a lot of guys use iSonic 73, but try this one. You will love it. You will absolutely love it. This is a must-have. Okay, that's it. And of course, my fin's the best on the planet. But these guys that tried it, they know it. These guys that didn't try it, I wish they try. Okay, so guys, I almost forgot that we are supposed to talk about the camera. So first camera that I use for last trip in Egypt and this trip in Egypt is the phone camera, which are recording right now. This is the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. I know that the 15 Ultra is out on the market and I'm actually investigating it, but this one is really good enough. The quality is superb. So you're watching the video made by phone, my phone, Xiaomi 14 Ultra, which is a machine. And the second camera, which is the action shot, which you all were asking for so much, is the Insta360 X3, not the latest one because it's bigger and heavier and it wobbles, but the second latest X3. The quality is really enough, and this is a waist harness and a selfie stick, adjustable. And this waist harness with selfie stick costs 50 euros, it's super cheap. And the camera, I think now you can buy on internet for 400 euro, which is super good deal. And for you that are maybe a little bit anxious and afraid of this kind of technology, the Insta360 Studio on the computer is super easy to play with. It's super intuitional. It's I'm complete rookie at this business, and for me, straight for the first time I used it, it was easy to play and to work with the image. So it's really nice because this camera is recording 360 degrees image completely. So you have to choose the view which you will be aiming. And this is important gadget that you need to buy. It costs, I think, 70 euro. This is a remote control GPS, and what it does is it switches on the camera and switches off, which saves a lot of battery, so you can actually record the whole day and just switch it on for the good moments. When you see the gas and you have a nice color of water, then you switch it on, the camera starts recording. So then the battery lasts for the whole day, and the camera uses a battery only when it's processing a heavy image. And now the position of the camera. First, this harness has to be tight on your waist, fixed really tight so it's not wobbling. Second, when you have your stick adjusted short, it will not work. It will be, you'll have a lot of distortions and it will be not nice. So try to extend your stick at least for 1 meter. This goes to 114, but 1 meter is enough, and then you have image like a drone is following you. Egypt is not allowing drones, but we can have a selfie stick. And the best angle that I experienced, actually I tried this camera with different angles on the mast, on the boom, everything is nice, but this solution is just the best. And the best angle is either completely on the side or cross side. Sometimes it works also when you have it completely on the back, but not too much because you just see the back of your head. So it's not really great. And when you have it loose, it will wobble. And now, so wobble is not so good, but when you record, try to choose the spot where it's flat or really, really small chop, because if it's too choppy, then it will wobble like that. And it's better when you don't wet it. It's waterproof, of course, but if you don't wet it, then you don't have any stains on the lens and the image is more clear. But if you do wet it, then dip it in the water and blow it hard, blow hard on the lens, and it will be completely clean. This is very nice. And now for sure you're interested what's that. This is original selfie stick from Insta360. I have also another one like that made in carbon, which is not better, so you don't have to invest in carbon. The aluminum one is even stiffer than the carbon one, but the connection here is super poor, it's really bad, and if you don't tape it with a lot of duct tape, you will lose the camera and it will drown. I actually, maybe 800 meters from the shore, this stick broke and I drowned this camera last month. But luckily Egypt is wonderful, and I came back and I saw it on the floor of the sea, and I dived. It was maybe 4 meters deep, and I retrieved the camera with footage inside, so it was lucky. But to avoid that, put a lot of duct tape on it forever, so it sticks, and then you're safe. You can even fall, and it's really safe, and it's the best way to make nice footage, and it's actually quite cheap and very easy to play with. Very important thing, the cover, because this camera, when you scratch the lens, you have to replace the lens in the service. So in the Insta360 service, which is, I guess, not cheap, I don't know. Okay guys, this is it for today. I hope you enjoyed. This place is unbelievable. It's so windy, it's so nice, and of course warm. We are surfing in shorts, so I wish you come here sometime in the future to experience this wonder, or maybe come sometime in the future for clinics with me. For sure you will learn a lot, and you will have a time of your life, because we're not only windsurfing, but we are doing a lot of outside activities, including every day at 5:30 in the morning we go to the beach and we welcome the sun. We do some exercise, meditation, and some interesting conversations, so it's really, really cool. I wish you come sometime in the future and spend time with us. So for now it's enough, and I hope to see you next time. So Michael, how was it?
Oh, it was super fun, as always. It's I'm fifth time, and I've been here with you 25 years ago. I keep coming.
First time Michael was here with me 25 years ago.
So true. So
Nice.
amazing, wonderful, what can I say? I mean, all the best words, powerful, time, energy, not only windsurfing. Wojtek does great job on, you know, spiritual things, explaining. We wake up 5 in the morning, we welcome the sun. Wojtek,
cool,
that's amazing.
Cool, it's cool, all right.
Wojtek is like a guru, not only windsurfing,
No.
lifestyle guy.
We just enjoy.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks guys. And this is our cameraman, Philip. Philip, how was it? Super.
Nice.
Did you enjoy?
Amazing, super fun.
Super fun. Okay, that's it.